Hey there, gang. So earlier this week, I ended up going against what appeared to be a full team of competitive survivors. Now, I didn't exactly recognize it at the time, at the beginning, but y'all are going to especially see after inspection of their builds, and you can definitely tell based on their playstyles. This team was definitely working in coordinated fashion. They all played very well. And a big part about what makes going against a team like this so difficult is that you are having to play with very minimal mistakes. Your chases have to be on point. Your decision making in chase, in terms of not only who you chase, but when you throw your bottles, where you throw your bottles specifically, has to be on point. If you make any slight misjudgments or miscalculations, and survivors are allowed to capitalize on that, be it either chaining tiles or making it to a pallet, that can cost you generator progress, which again, when you go back to how I said every survivor is working in unison, you will lose generators as a result of that. You know, you should pretty much expect, regardless, especially without corrupt intervention, as y'all see with our build, you should be losing 2 generators minimum first chase. You know, a big part about winning against a team like this with a build like this is actually taking full advantage of the build, catching survivors out when they're making poor macro decisions, punishing them when they're injured by snowballing through the sheer chase pressure. And without spoiling too much, that was what we did. You know, there is some specific reasons as to how that actually resulted in the win for us, because with the momentum the survivors were able to maintain throughout the course of the game, you know, like I said, you have to play perfectly, and I'll admittedly say I wasn't, and that made it very hard to keep up. You know, it literally, there was 1 or 2 decisions away from me, either 3 to 4 Kang and or 2 Kang, so really respect to this team, and I think y'all are going to find it very, very exciting. It's, oh my gosh, wait, I opened the wrong tab. Shit. Alright, there we go. It's, when I saw that, Matt, I was like, holy shit, it's not even my fucking birthday, you know? And what I really like, what I really like, is that I feel encouraged to use add-ons that are not Cigar Box without them having to touch it. Cigar Box can remain a really strong add-on in its own right. They don't have to make it worse, while Clown still has his add-on versatility. We're gonna see if we can cut him off from this way. Now, am I doing worse in terms of tracking at times and things like that, gang? Of course, but damn, she's like fucking Cheetos. Free drop. Oh my gosh, she actually does commit. She got the yellow, though. Remember, it's only 3%. It's only 3%, gang. I'm gonna lose 2 gens still, probably. Yeah, there's the first one. Scratch marks were literally bright red. I couldn't tell if they actually rotated the other way. This is where literally having something for tracking would be so fucking nice, dude. Probably shouldn't have kicked at that time because I lost my opportunity to follow based off of scratch marks. I have to give that gen up. I'm not gonna tunnel. I'll go. Oh, well, I kinda don't really have much of a choice here. Let me go back to this gen. This gen is still aggressing. That's good. I'm gonna go check this other gen. Beautiful. I didn't think that tree was right there when I was trying to go for the spin combo. Forgive me. He's got the fucking... I ruined everything because of that tree. I don't even dude, he's got green on green. I literally helped him out so much with this map. He actually fucking blends in, man. We'll go this way. Not how I wanted that bottle to be. I knew you weren't going to play 50-50. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get fucking stunned. Please just let me fuck. There we go. Holy shit. this a 4-man? I think this is a 4-man, by the way. Let's get this vibe from this, from like the names. From some of the people I've gone against. I could be wrong. Probably could just be a 2-man, who knows. Only 3%. Cross up. I can't fucking see, dude. I'm playing blind right now. I'm literally just guessing where he is, if you're wondering. What are these bottle combos and what is it that you're doing? I'm guessing. Probably wondering, is that like, well, a waste of bottle combos? No, that's how you fucking mind game when you don't fucking see somebody. I don't have fucking stacks of Q. What am I doing, man? That was all because I thought I had stacks of Q. I'm gonna lose one or two of these gens and I can't do too much about it. Because that's the thing, I expect them to be split. I expect them to be working on multiple gens at a time. We see she's playing check. She's definitely gonna hard rotate if I play. Someone's literally body blocking. Someone's body blocking right behind me, guaranteed. I'm gonna hook aggressively because we see where somebody is. Holy shit, they really just split up into 3 people and rotated. Goddamn. Can I cross up? Oh my gosh, not if I bump into it so badly like that. Can I throw my bottles better, please? Don't use stack of Q. I want to get a chase. It's honestly, hold on. I don't okay. I'll just go for her. Better pre-drop that. You were actually mad. No, you're not mad. Just got fucking dead hard. Holy shit. Good pathing, good pathing. No, I didn't want to release that bottle. That last one was a fucking mistake. I didn't mean to press that oh. Well, I guess it doesn't fucking matter, huh? That's good. He's slow vaulting. I didn't lunge early enough. Wow, great fucking pathing. Oh my gosh, my fucking pathing is atrocious. Double back, dude. Literally just a sec off. Hurry, hurry. Oh my fucking gosh, dude. Oh, don't kick yet. I'm gonna get beamed, aren't I? No, thank you. Holy shit, dude. Let's see. Hot damn. This is a good team. We reload now.
Kicking gens is important and unimportant now that we know what everybody's doing. I expect you to pre-drop. Stack and play with your food. Oh, we don't have to play with your food. Holy shit, dude. I do have him displaced. Ooh. Go for it. Actually, respect. This man's smart. Oh my gosh, my thumb literally slipped off the fucking controller right there. I think I get him off this. No, he's got too much pre-run. Dude, holy shit, I thought he gets around me. Ah, holy fuck. I could have got that 4K probably if I just wasn't afraid to commit to what I had. Because I could hear him and then I couldn't. I could hear him and then I couldn't. So I was like, okay, we need to establish line of sight. Very good team. I was focused, like, okay, fine, we establish line of sight. This turn is no progress. She's giving up on hook. Okay, well, she's gonna give up on hook. I'll just stay here to definitely confirm. Very, very close game. Very close game. Really strong team. Wow, 2 people already left. So maybe it 1-4, maybe it was just a 2-man. Who knows? Or maybe it was and they just went to lobby. They just didn't even care to save GG. I don't know. I mean, it has to be a 3-man minimum. 3-man minimum, yeah. Because of the fucking names.
So our chance of getting the 4K was very much within reach. I just didn't want to take the risk and possibly make a mistake and allow Adam in order to either pick up the Sable or unhook the Kate, and then things could have completely went on the back end. You know, the idea that I could just play a bit safer, I could contest one side of the shack, cut off the rest of the map away from the Adam, getting 3 kills safely is much more preferable, so that was what I ended up doing. And it wasn't just 3 kills, it was 3 kills, 10 hooks. So technically, when it comes to competitive perspective, that means we would have netted some extra points. You know, he had to get out through hatch, they didn't complete all of the generators. Ultimately, really, really great. Now, we are going to be going over what happened within the match. I want to do a play-by-play. However, first, I want to go over the Survivor loadouts because I do think that provides a lot of important context. First things first, before we actually start talking about what the Survivors brought, in competitive, it's important to know, for those that don't, that Survivors typically aren't allowed to bring duplicate perks. So this means that if, say, someone has adrenaline, only one survivor could have adrenaline. Some perks are outright forbidden to begin with as well, same with items. And while there is a couple of instances of duplicates here, we have a duplicate adrenaline on Adam and Sable. We have a duplicate on Dead Hard with Kate and the Nia. It's not really that egregious. Keep in mind, too, these survivors, again, like I said, don't have any items when they very well could be bringing items. You know, the 61 Prestige Kate has a yellow flashlight, whereas the 100 Prestige Nia has nothing. You know, this is the survivors, I think, playing into those limitations. You know, you look at their builds. Let's now look at the builds to kind of more clarify on that. So the Adam has Autodidact, Adrenaline, Resilience, and Reassurance. Pretty damn staple build, I think, as it comes. A lot of people might find Autodidact to be questionable. I think that there is a strategy purpose in mind behind why he would have Autodidact. This build itself looks very close to what I would figure is probably ran in a tournament environment. Maybe if like one perk difference if here or there, depending on what's banned or allowed. You know, like Deliverance. I noticed, for example, none of the survivors here have Deliverance. Sable, even though she also has adrenaline and hers is only rank 1, I think part of that reason is that maybe they had like a tome challenge or something. They just didn't have the perks on Sable. I don't think this player was brand new. They especially didn't play like they're brand new, and their build surely doesn't even give that a representation. You look at what they have. They have Prove Thyself, Deja Vu, and Will Make It. This is a fantastic perk combo for when you need to play reactively on where you need to be to support your team. She was also the Obsession, which makes her the best survivor for that. She could be taking body blocks to remove my save the best for last stacks, and since I'm normally not going to want to commit to chasing the Obsession, she could take that injury and the efficiency of wasting my time, go to a generator, support a survivor already working on it with Prove Thyself as well as Deja Vu. So this is very, very good. Will Make It is also amazing in these types of settings because you can unhook a survivor, and if you know the killer isn't able to contest that unhook, you know, especially Clown with his lack of map mobility, you can heal on that hook and then either go your separate ways, coordinate where need be. Remember, again, she has Prove Thyself, so they could go to 2-mana gen after healing. You can do a whole lot with her build. This is not just a what-if build, so very, very strong there. Next is Kate. Kate has this perk called Better Than New, and this is where things start to get interesting. You're going to see some synergy between Kate's build and Nia. Kate has Better Than New, Will Make It. Oh, I just realized, I guess there is technically a third duplicate. She also has Will Make It. But again, that is a general perk, and considering that the Sable Prestige 0, I think it is kind of fair. But going back to what I was saying, the Kate has Will Make It. She has Better Than New, Leader, and Dead Hard. Now, this is a really, really strong build. What this build enables her to do with the Nia, her healing, she's going to be looking to get unhooks on her teammates. She's going to unhook them. She's going to get Will Make It. She is going to heal that person, probably the Nia. Remember, we did end up hooking the Nia first. It's probably somewhat expected that she's going to draw some aggressive pressure that would warrant her meeting up with the Kate. We're talking about the Nia. That would warrant the Nia meeting up with the Kate so she could get healed, get her Better Than New buff, and she can then play a more supportive role for her teammates. Especially with regard to splitting pressure, because again, you know, she also has going, let's now look at the Nia. The Nia has Desperate Measures, Botany. This combo is really, really strong for healing because the way Desperate Measure works, for those that don't know, Desperate Measures gives you 14% increased healing speed for every injured survivor or slugged survivor. And this also includes survivors that are on a hook. So if, for example, she is injured and she needs to meet up with another injured teammate so they can heal themselves and then go for an unhook save, she is going to have the healing speed bonus from herself of 50% from Botany. She's going to get 14% from herself, 14% from another teammate that she's meeting to heal, 14% from the survivor on the hook, and then lastly, Kate's 16% if she has it from Better Than New. That's assuming, of course, she would probably have to be healthy, so someone else would have to be injured in instead, otherwise it would cancel out. But there's a lot of flexibility there, basically. And that's something that I noticed when I was looking over their perks. Now, Blast Mine, I believe that's Blast Mine. I don't think that's Chemical Trap, one or the other. Both of those are very interesting perk choices. Blast Mine is a lot more effective against Clown than the little frost trap. And the reason for that is that clown typically doesn't kick a lot of pallets. So unless this was used in a very strong and strategic manner, which it could be, you look at Killer Shack. Killer Shack is the greatest example that comes to mind. You could, in a competitive setting, you can orchestrate it to where clown has to chase you through main, you drop pallet, you frost trap it, and that's GG's if the other survivors are sitting on their gens. So there are definitely ways that you could take advantage of that. Frost trap slash blast mine, very, very strong perks. Blast mine, especially countering pop, things like that, but I digress. So this is kind of what we're working with here. We, like I said, we're about to go over the match itself. We're going to go frame by frame in the specifics, but you know, really respect to these builds. This is probably close that you can get to competitive loadouts without being 100% like there, because, you know, again, couple duplicates. So lastly, we probably should talk a little bit more about my build. Now, I brought a full chase build. I didn't exactly know that I was signing up for an unofficial scrim, even though I brought an Autohaven map offering. I had Coup, Zanchin Tactics, Save the Best for Last, and Dissolution. Now, Coup, Zanchin, and Save the Best for Last are fantastic together. You can run this with just about any other fourth perk, but I don't really think Dissolution helped us that much. It might have encouraged them to be a bit more greedy with how they played some pallet loops. Maybe they didn't drop some pallets as soon as they could, meaning I was able to get possession and deny them from getting back to that pallet. But one consistent trend that I did notice that played out through almost every chase with every survivor is that regardless of where I hit them, especially if they gave me pallet possession, Dissolution would expire before they made it back to the pallet. So that's always been my main complaint about Dissolution, is it's very unlikely to do anything for you until you are at maximum stacks of Save the Best for Last. Rapid Brutality especially can also be necessary, but you know, lastly, really strong survivors know how to waste your time for long enough to where you should seldom ever be forcing them to vault it. That's why I've not really liked Dissolution. Zanchin, though, amazing and necessary. Save the best for last, especially because we needed to catch up as quickly as we could. There were plenty of instances where I used the invigoration following save the best for last to just barely catch one of the survivors before they made it to a window or a pallet. So definitely great that we had a Zanchin Tactics, Save the Best for Last, and our add-ons. We had Garge Makeup Kit and Cheap Gin Bottle. I like this combo. You can do a whole lot now with Clown's add-on combos. We did not have Cigar Box. And this gave us an extra 2 seconds on our yellow bottle duration, so our yellow bottles lasted 8 seconds. And they were 3% stronger for 13% increased haste. So that was really, really beneficial. And there were many moments where, like I said, that 3%, it's only 3%, and that was how we were able to convert pressure. If we were any slower with how we were downing these survivors, either as due to lack of haste or lack of lethality from not having one of these chase perks, things definitely would have been different. You know, you look at how they were coordinating on the generators, and even with how I had a quick 30-second first hook chase, they still got 2 generators done. So let's go ahead now and transition over to the match, and then we are going to we're going to be going frame by frame, talking about every decision that I make, why I made those decisions. I ended up clipping out stuff in between due to some technical difficulties, but here we are, gang. I've got the match pulled up, so we're going to be starting out right from the beginning. Here we are. We are on Wretched Shop Autohaven. We spawned pretty close to the main building. I'm sure you can probably notice that. We see this wall, but further, this is important as returning. Do y'all see this? We immediately can tell due to Zanchin Tactics before we've taken control of our character that we have the wall next to the window. And if this window is here, you want to kick this wall. If you don't see this window, that's good. You know you don't have to go there. The ability to kick this wall, though, is highly dependent on where you spawn. Say we spawned in this really far back corner. We're talking on the far side of the map. I wouldn't be able to rotate all the way over here to kick this and then go here like I did. By the time I do that, I would have lost close to 2 gens. These survivors are immediately on their objectives. They're doing it. They're calling out where each one is. They're going to be calling out when they hear my terror radius, who I am, talking who needs to take chase, when things like that. So that is something you have to keep in mind. Your first chase in the beginning of the game is very important. So since we spawned near that main building, my first decision is we're going to be rotating this way, and we are going to kick this door. So we take control of our character. We see where we're at. We see door right here. We see window. This door goes. I'll just let it play out normally rather than fast forward or skip. Actually, I probably can go ahead and just at least speed it up a little bit. We'll go ahead and just like, no, I'm going to keep it at normal speed for posterity. So anyways, we're moving forward. We're looking. I figure this is one place to check because I know no survivor, or excuse me, survivors have a high likelihood chance of spawning over here. And because you looked at where we were, there's a good chance someone could be here. I was wrong about this. This yellow was used for initiation. This was not used for mobility. My plan was if she is on this gen, maybe she gives up. If she doesn't run away, she tries to play this side of this pallet loop. I can then initiate with another yellow because I have possession of the pallet. Pink on her side, get her before she makes it back to the pallet. I'll still have a couple bottles left over. There's my first health state very early. That's a good position to be in. First health state so soon. All she's got to her right is Killer Shack and another jungle gym or so. She's got one other car tile filler pallet right behind us, but that's all she's really got. Everyone else probably might not be around to support her. So again, that's why it's so important. If I throw this yellow, someone is here that I can play into this if she doesn't pre-drop this or pre-run abandon early. So, but again, we come over here and nobody's here. That's just my thought process. Again, this yellow is used for initiation. Someone could be on this gen and I just don't necessarily see it. Maybe they started running. I can take this with the extra 2 seconds and then use another yellow because I still have 4 to play on this pallet. We look, we don't see anybody, and this is where I start coming over here because we find the scratch marks, and this is where I get ready to start my first chase. I'm getting ready to go for Sable until I notice that she's the Obsession. And going for Obsession first chase, especially without Corrupt, is basically ensuring that you are not going to be getting any stacks of save the best for last by the time you need it, because think about all of that wasted time. Remember how I talked about 2 generators are going to be finished in your first chase? That means you're losing 2 generators without any stacks of save the best for last. So that's why we did not commit to chasing the Sable. Admittedly, if we had play with your food, this would be great for us because we would then be taking that 5% from play with your food to go for the first health state on a non-obsession. But, you know, again, we didn't have that. We had dissolution. So I break chase once I realize that she is the Obsession. I start going for this Nia because I know the Nia is a non-obsession. This was not exactly a yellow I wanted, but we're going to work with it because that's typically something you do need to do as Clown. This plays into momentum and impromptu gameplay and improvising. Wherever your bottles go, sometimes you need to play around that. So we put this yellow here. I'm aware of Clown's hitbox. Notice as I'm walking through, I walk through this and you would think I wouldn't get it. The reason why I get it is because Clown's hitbox extends beyond his FOV. So when you are looking forward and there is what's behind you, I guess, like your actual person, that hitbox can pick up your invigoration. So as y'all can see, we're going to go back just a few seconds. I put this yellow. Not exactly the best placement, but still good. Hitbox claims it. She pre-drops. This is to lock her in animation. I know she's going to drop this. Look at this pink, perfect pink. This pink crosses up at the angle, and what does it do? It catches her right at this corner. And notice how I know she's not playing 50-50. This is something you have to do in chase. You have to acknowledge situations where if you try to play that 50-50 and you play more cautious, you play with a little bit more timidity, you are not going to be catching these survivors, because playing that 50-50 ensures that not only would it not do anything because she's not doing it playing it herself, but she's chaining this tile. She would already be at that yellow pallet by the time I realize she's not playing the 50-50. And so that is one of the things I was setting up into with this one combo. I get this yellow, lock her in animation, pink, we know she's going to run it, we come around, we catch her on this, she doesn't believe she's going to make it. Notice that. She probably potentially could have, but the fact that she did it means she is respecting what I just did. Definitely take into account when survivors do that, because when survivors start respecting you, especially early, that's something that you know that they're good. Good survivors won't do that. So I mean, she's even covered in Cheeto dust, so we should definitely expect that she's a good player, but I digress. We get our first health state because she's caught out. We have 2 bottles left. 2 bottles left. Reloading is really bad. If we were pre-buffed, we would not be catching this for another 30+ seconds because of the reloading. She would be 2.5 tiles over because she would get all that free distance during that reload time. Instead, we still have 2 bottles, and that's how we make this next play. We throw our first yellow. Notice how this yellow hits this tree. I can do multiple things with this yellow. I can play this upcoming pallet, or I can springboard and chain to the next tile, possibly with my extra 2-second duration, do something off of the bus with the pink bottle. So we come in, we put this 360 for flare. That's to confuse. People wonder why I spin a lot, and sometimes it does. I do make mistakes and you could call mechanical input. because I bump into stuff, right? Like there is some problems there. But the reason behind the spinning is a lot of people do not see it coming. You will catch people off guard. They will second guess themselves and their movement. And because of how Survivor movement is like a little pivoty in nature, if they have to go back and forth, you can close free distance off of that, especially if you have your yellow bottle configuration. So that's kind of what we did there is we threw our pink because I was confident that my pink would land where it needed to be. And due to us having the pink slowdown and the yellow, including cheap gin bottle, we get this hit. If we did not have cheap gin bottle for that extra 3%, we would not have downed Nia before she made it back to this pallet. So we get our first hook. Not exactly a great position to be in because, again, if you look at the time into the match, we are about to hit 90 seconds into the match. This is, again, because taking into account everything that has transpired thus far, we started near the main building. I needed to kick that window in the event that survivors took me to main building. If my first chase somehow allowed a survivor to get to that main building and I didn't break that door and they were able to go through that window and I jailed myself from the inside, that's even worse GG's than everything that happened right now. That would have been even worse. So that is why it's not as if we made the misplay there. It's just hindsight is 420. You know, you can. Well, I don't think that's the expression. Hindsight is 2020, and that's how you can tell after the fact that sometimes you just got to deal with what's dealt with. So we're about 90 seconds in. We end up downing her without going near main building. We're getting our first hook. This is 2Gen's first chase. Because remember, we don't have corrupt intervention. So you're going to see that we are now passing 90 seconds, only just barely. There's the first one, literally 3 seconds. Y'all see that? This is literally on cue with the match starting. 90 seconds in, we lose our first gen. This second one was at about 90%. That's 2 gens. We only just barely stopped them there. That's the state of the pacing with Clown and Dead by Daylight. Now, I wasn't playing this technically as optimally as I could have. That's one thing I take into account with some of my macro decision making this game. I probably could have contested hooks a little bit more. Perhaps the survivors unhooking early does play a bit more to our benefit because they aren't 100% sitting on the gens to the 99th like timer before it hits the second stage, you know, and then coming in for that last second unhook. So perhaps it does work out kind of in our favor there, but we end up, they get this unhook. I can't go for Sable. Nia's too close to main building, too much pre-run distance, so I can't chase the Nia. We end up breaking chase. I go back to this gen, since I know that if they are coordinating properly, if Sable is unhooking and she's over somewhat by the Nia, I know that somebody else has got to be near this gen because they want to finish this gen. They're calling that out. So we come back here. I don't see anybody there, so I figure maybe somebody's right over here. I have the opportunity, due to how these generators are lined up, in order to patrol between them. We come over here, we find Adam. And this is one of those things I was talking about, the mechanical mistakes. I bump into a tree. The idea here, I wanted him, when we were, see, look at this. Notice how I start spinning right as he's going over the window. I wanted him to be entirely uncertain of what my game plan is. I wanted him to be vaulting that window, realizing he needs to pick a direction where he would thus lose line of sight, and then I could manipulate how I would show my red stain with the preemptive bottle combo that I'm setting up. Notice how I threw this yellow. So I was hoping not to bump into a tree. I would have a bottle combo set up as I spin. He would have no idea what I'm doing with my pink that goes for the doorway through the window. It's just a mistake on input that cost me a lot of distance. That happens sometimes, you know. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. So we make the mistake on trying to chase back, catch him back up. He ends up chaining 3 tiles over, and then I make the comment about his cosmetics. I'm almost certain that what this Adam is wearing is what they wear in competitive for Autohaven cosmetics due to how it blends in with the filters. We come back to another pallet loop. I know he's not. I know if when he drops this, and I knew he was going to drop it. This is something game sense and chase you pick up as you play the game more. I knew he wasn't going to be vaulting it. This had nothing even to do with this solution, which is not even active. So we come up here again, look at this. This yellow's on the outside. I know he's thinking I'm going to want to do something. What he's probably thinking right now is I show my red stain, I pretend like I'm going to the other side, but I'm actually reversing, and then I'm going to swing through the pallet. That's what he probably thought I was about to do, is prepare all of that, swing through the pallet. We didn't do that. Instead, I come around here. He drops his pallet. He's an animation lock. I could have hit him here if he wanted to. In fact, if I didn't have coup and I swung for this and I missed, he would make it back around. So without unrelenting, I should specify. So those were probably things that he had in mind that factored into his decision. Why do I not vault this pallet? The thing is, though, since I knew that he wasn't going to vault this pallet, through that game sense I was talking about experience and chase, I didn't need to lunge. I didn't use any coup stacks. Unrelenting wasn't necessarily something that came into play here because I played with that confidence. We chase behind Adam. We get this hit. Notice, like I said, I saved all of those resources. I still have one bottle left. Imagine if I threw a pink bottle. Imagine if I threw a pink bottle at this loop here. I wouldn't have anything for follow-up on the second health state. The fact that I was able to do this with just a yellow, especially saving Q, is very, very good. So I have this one yellow bottle left. Notice how I throw another yellow, not a pink. I throw another yellow, not a pink, because a pink isn't really going to do much. It only lasts 2.5 seconds. Instead, I have an 8-second yellow that is going to scale with my coup de grace lunge. And because of that 3%, we only barely downed him as he got back to this pallet. Again, if we did not have Cheap Gin Bottle, this would not have been a down. Cheap Gin literally came in clutch. That 3% is game changing. So we get this next down. This is our second hook. I'm panicking right now because I'm a little bit slow on the pickup, and survivors that are coordinated, if they call out when they're going down and at what tile, someone could be coming in for the pickup. We get this carry into this hook, and again, not really the best position to be in because we are going to be hitting our on-screen second gen remaining very soon. We are about 3 minutes into the game, which doesn't seem like a long period of time, but when every survivor is doing what they need to do, they're not cleansing dull totems or opening chests. It's actually, pretty crazy how efficient survivors can be. So this is a really, really important chase too. We're coming up onto this Kate. Notice how I'm carrying this yellow springboard, okay? This is what I'm talking about when I say you use yellows for initiation and you're not using them for mobility. This yellow is not used so I could cross the map faster. This yellow is used so I can play off a survivor I seem to be in this area. We get this yellow, I come over here, I know someone's over here, I throw the pink right there. Notice I throw the pink at the doorway. Because I have that speed, because I have the pink at the doorway, she decides to go for window. That extra 3% with the coup is why I hit her on a fast fault. If we didn't have that 3%, again, she's not getting hit before she makes it back to the window. So we get our invigoration here. I have the pink set up there for reaction. I realize that she's going to be playing around this. If I respect how well her positioning is in chase when we get to this tile, that this pink, she is going to displace herself from me to the best degree, and one pink bottle will not be enough. I need to extend the hinder duration for longer as she comes back to me from this left side. So that's why I throw the other pink. And I'm also banking on the fact that with how long I was going through that yellow cloud, that the yellow cloud is going to expire before she makes it to the invigoration. So again, that's what we've got. We've got two pinks that allows me to chase her back, and look at this, the yellow expires just before she makes it. I've still got my own yellow with plenty of time to increase the speed of my coup de grace lunge. And that's the down right as she's on the pallet. Again, only just barely because of that Cheap Gin Bottle. Cheap Gin Bottle coming in again, giving us just that lethality that we need. So we down Kate, clean up, pick up. We're feeling a little bit better here because we've got some pressure spread. And spread pressure is going to make the late game easier since it makes it to where they can't play as risky. They can't just make free trades. If you don't have spread hook pressure and it gets to end game, some survivors will literally just throw themselves at you to die because they know that with zero hook states, they can sit on that hook for a while, and you either give them free pressure by letting them unhook and everything else that you lost in between while they do generators, or you can't that objective, they do generators, they still unhook anyways due to all that excess time. So that is what survivors will do. So it was really good that we now have one hook onto the Kate, we have a hook onto the Atom, we have a hook onto the Nia. The only person who has not been hooked yet is the Sable. So we are looking at the feeling a bit better. This gen still isn't done. We are just barely hanging on by a thread with this gen. I am looking to get a chase onto somebody. I tried to catch Adam. I figured he was going to be going for this pallet, and with how quickly I move on a coup de grace lunge, I was confident if he did that, I would beat him to the pallet, but he anticipated that I was doing that. He avoided my lunge, and further, he chains the tile very effectively. He's already back to that other loop. I start to reload because I want to get him here. And admittedly, I didn't respect his game. I didn't respect his game. This was almost perfect to hit him if I just converged normally, but I was kind of expecting him to. I was expecting him to position, I guess, a bit better with the clouds itself. I was honestly not as confident on just brute forcing it. We don't have any coup de grace stacks, so I wanted to kind of see if I could shimmy him a bit. But he, at the perfect time of that little movement, the spinning that I was doing, he chains this tile. He makes it to this corner, and that forces us to try to see if we can do some type of mind game setup here. And, you know, remember, I don't have cigar box aura reading. And when you are playing at a level like this around a jungle gym, unless you are just going to play like a little robot, right? And you just walk up, give him the free pallet, again, all wasted time because you won't have the setups to get the health state anyways. And we are at that moment of the game where every second is counting. They've got all of that early gen pressure. We still don't have any survivors dead. So that is why I'm going with these setups. I'm putting this many bottles and play at this jungle gym. We have 6 stacks of save the best for last. If I can hit him here, even with 1 or 2 bottles left, I can possibly down him and get a second hook, put somebody on death hook before we're even down to 1 generator remaining. So that is an encompassing of everything I'm thinking right now. We get this pink. We're trying to see if we can walk around. We realize that he's better than me because he's not even at this pallet loop. He's already 2 tiles away. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We find Nia again. This is someone we need to chase. We need to get somebody who's caught out like this. So we get a free health state. Look at this. I've got 1 bottle left. I'm panicking right now if you're wondering about that miss lunge. I thought I had a Q stack. I'm panicking. Last bottle has been used, but we get that health state, and I'm thinking we need to down this Nia. We need to hook this Nia. Putting someone on death hook is very important. We're going to be looking to play Shaq. Admittedly, I get this. I could have sworn somebody was body blocking me here. Where I'm gonna go back and look at this again while we're like, actually, yeah, I don't think this is me getting caught on Shaq. This isn't me getting caught on Shaq because I am pulling back on my controller. It felt like someone was behind me body blocking. But anyways, we were still able to catch her due to our yellow and our pink. She wasn't able to make it back to this pallet. She doesn't even try. She knows she's just basically dead to rights. Kate is the person with the beamer, but she is not able to get anywhere close. They are to split. Remember, they are trying to get these gens done because there's only 1 generator remaining. In fact, I think, did we hit this chase? We did hit 1 generator remaining this chase, right as we down this Nia. So they are not really focused on trying to stall out me getting hooks. They're trying to get through what they have left to do as fast as they can. And Clown does not really defend 3-gen very well. He doesn't defend the last generators that remain, especially if they are split. All it takes is 2 survivors. Remember, they also have Prove Thyself, but it only takes 2 survivors without toolboxes, like 47 to 50 seconds in order to finish a generator. That is much time as it takes for Clown to find a survivor with a little pre-run distance, play perfectly in chase, down them, and hook them before it gets completed. So that's really, really bad. You can't really afford to deal with that. So getting that second hook, we are still on the back foot here. And we're trying to get a setup here. Again, he can see me over these dumpsters. That is kind of why I am doing a little bit again with the spins. I'm confident we get this, especially with the second pink. And that is where we get this hit right here at this health state. Notice he starts to chain. He doesn't want to play this pallet. He wants to save the pallet, to deny a health state rather than save time, because he knows I'm just going to kick the pallet and break chase. I misplaced my yellow. That was an accident. I'm going toward the obsession. We deny an unhook, which is kind of okay. I don't normally like hitting the obsession, but I decide to hit her here for a couple of reasons. I've got 1 survivor on hook. I've got 1 other survivor non-obsession that's injured. If I injure her, that's 2 injured survivors, only 1 healthy survivor with 1 survivor on the hook. Most of their time has been spent trying to repair that generator in that corner, which means that they don't have much going on anywhere else. That's just opportunity cost of time. You could really view it, right? They spent all that time there, not anywhere else. So setting up 2 injuries, throwing away 2 stacks to have an injury on the obsession, an injury on the atom, with only Kate being able to go for that save, that commands everyone to me. They can't be doing the generators on the other side of the map. So we get this hit onto the this hit onto the Sable. And we are considering going for Kate here, at the very least, to push her off, because I didn't think we would have a injured survivor come up behind me. A little bit of a miscalculation on my part. I think that is I think the Adam who gets that unhook. I don't think that was the Sable. My eyes might deceive me. But we see Kate right now. We decide to go for Kate because I know I get this health state before she makes it to Pallet. If I can hit her before she makes it to this Pallet, that means with 5 bottles, I can do something without, I can save so much time. Look at this momentum. So I still have my yellow. My yellow is still active right now. And I just follow up due to my save the best for last stacks. I get the pink at the doorway. If she didn't have Dead Hard, that's a down. But getting Dead Hard out right now means I don't get Dead Hard out the way right here. Imagine if I ate Dead Hard right here. Imagine if I made a misplay on placement and I wasn't able to catch her at that corner, so she had Dead Hard for when we got here, and she just had that general distance. That would have been really bad. And we don't even go there, actually. No, not yet. That's going to be later on. We chain to this upcoming Pallet loot. I make a mistake on my second pink. I thought she was going to be looking to play bus. And this pulls us back to everybody, which is good. Again, I throw away 2 more stacks here because we were up to 8. So I'll put us back at 6 because putting us back at 6 leaves us with 3 injuries, especially somebody who's deep wounded. And the deep wound is more time they have to essentially spend healing. So that is good. That's going to really slow them down. I'm happy with that since I still have 6 stacks remaining. What I want to do, my game-winning condition right now is to not only kill 1 survivor, it's to kill Nia. The one healthy survivor at the moment, because she's the only person on Death Hook. But it's not even just the fact that she's on Death Hook. She's the survivor that does the best at healing. She has Botany with Desperate Measures. So right now, she would have 50% plus 14% plus 14% plus 14%. That is 42% increased healing on top of 92% increased healing speed. And if Kate had managed to heal her at some point, remember how she is still in, she's healthy now. Kate could have healed her at some point. That would put her another 16%. She would have something like that would be 108% healing. So really, really crazy stuff. That's probably how things are looking right now, and that's why we needed to kill the Nia. So we hit Sable. I start looking around. I find Adam. I want to get Adam because he's injured, and it's proximity pressure to this gen. Even if I don't down Adam right now, the fact that I am chasing Adam at this tile is going to pull these other survivors to do the gen because they want to get that gen done. I don't have any gen support. Even if they're injured, they can pre-run if they come out the run back. There are many different ways where even though they're injured, it's actually the right macro call for them to do that gen, assuming they don't mess up the execution. So we're looking to pressure Adam. The reason why I don't lunge here is for a couple of reasons. Some people are probably thinking, why didn't you just go for that Q lunge? I didn't want to go for the Q lunge and potentially risk missing, even if in hindsight shows us it could have worked. I didn't want to go for the Q lunge and down him under the pallet and have another survivor come up behind me and then stun me. Because again, while they're doing that, other survivors would be getting progress on that generator. I was playing this very, very safe and proactive around where it is I needed to be and hedging my resources against the risks. So we don't Q lunge. Instead, I look to slice. I figure if I can't hit him at this pallet, the bare minimum of what I can do is keep him from leaving this tile. I can keep him in this corner unless someone were to come protect him. But who's going to come protect him besides the Nia, who's on Death Hook? Because every other survivor is injured. So that's kind of where the state of things are at the moment. We're getting ready to set up, but I make a little bit of a mistake in judgment. He ends up coming back around, and he gets away from this tile without me knowing. I could have also downed him here too. I thought Nia was going to position better. That's why I haven't lunged yet. I would already resign to the fact that this body block wasn't possible, but if my reaction time was better at this moment, this is a guaranteed down onto Adam because she would not have made it at this point if I had gone for the lunge. It's just since I started lunging too late, that's where you see her swing. See, pay attention to really how I had this opening. Right there. I waited just half a second too long so she's able to get that in. That's a mistake on my end. He, again, is looking to chain back over here. I was thinking he was going for this pallet. I was a little bit flustered on my own error, which resulted in another error here. We end up just taking this yellow and rotate back. I put this pink on the off chance that he is playing this tile. but he's not, and it's smart of him not to play it. They end up coming back to, I end up rotating back to this pallet, and this is where we're back to chasing Nia. Remember, every survivor at the moment is injured. Nia took the body block for the Atom. A pretty risky decision. She was probably really confident on the fact that she could jail me within this pallet. See, you're going to notice that we're chasing her around here. She was confident on me eating a stun right now. If I eat the stun right now, regardless of everybody being injured, the best case scenario that I have is I kick that pallet and I commit to a chase for her to kill her, and I'm not getting more than that. That's if I commit to that chase, and that's also if she gets that stun. But again, we do not give her that stun. That's why the outcome here is different. Do y'all see the screams and these other survivors? They are waiting for me to leave this loop by any means so they can do this damn gen. That's why, again, this pallet was left up for so long. It is a last resort. So we go for this lunge. I want to go back just one more time to get the setup going. We get this yellow into this pink, except my pink had already, or excuse me, my yellow already expired, and I came up just a second too short. A second too short. Now, some people would consider kicking this pallet, but the reason why I didn't kick this pallet is because I know I still have plenty of time on my pink bottle. Let's go back and we're going to let the whole thing play out, and I'm going to talk over. We're coming up to this loop. I have 2 bottles left. What I do here is I put a pink on one side, I come around, and this is my misjudgment. I didn't have a yellow set up because I was desperate trying to get the down as quickly as I can. I thought she exposed herself, it didn't hit. Sorry, I know I paused it. That's why this yellow comes in, because this pink is still active. We are going to catch her as a result of that pink at the tail end. You even see the intoxication score event. She even screams in game. That bare half a second of intoxication coupled with my invigoration and the 3%, that's why we barely caught her at this pallet. So again, let's go back. We put the pink. I don't have yellow. I go for the swing. I miss. She drops and gets caught in animation lock, and I thread the needle between the tires and the tree. My yellow is active as I pass around, not for her when she goes through it. She gets the tail end of my pink. You see the intoxication event. I coup lunge, and I just barely get her right at the end. Some people would probably say that was a hit entirely due to ping. And while it does kind of look that way, keep in mind I also could have lunged a half a second sooner. I could have lunged about right here. If I lunged right here, then she would still have gotten hit regardless of ping. I wait literally so much longer. So we end up getting this down. And Sable did not expect this to happen. I guarantee Sable did not expect me to kill the Nia. She did not. She literally probably just saw that happen, and then she also didn't expect me to turn around. So this double slug is what turns everything around in our favor. The only reason we came back from this match was because of what just happened. I want to play it one more time because, again, this is everything I talk about when it comes to the significance of momentum. You need to recognize what's on the field and what you have, and you need to play around it to the best of your ability. We come in, I don't have invigoration. I throw the pink. I go for the lunge. I miss. Rather than kick, I just go for the yellow because I know my pink is still active, and I get it just around. I don't stop moving. It's very important as Clown that you don't stop moving. That's what allowed all this to happen for us. So we get our double slug. I don't kick just yet because I want to get this pallet out the way. I want to kill Nia more than anything. I want to make sure Nia is dead. Afterward, we're going to be looking to deal with the generator and the Sable. But making sure Nia is gone is what's most important. Because again, remember what I was talking about. When we kill Nia, everything else is going to be upside down for the survivors, since we have 2 survivors that are injured. We have 1 survivor that is slugged. They don't have the benefit of botany with desperate measures. That better than new is only going to be at best helping the Atom with autodidact. So we have everything in our favor to win when we have all of the split pressure. We have spread hooks. We have also spread all of our hooks. And they have spent all of this time on this one generator that they haven't been able to get through. So they don't have pressure anywhere else. That is what's going to effectively win us this game. This gen is 2 pistons. We kick it. We go for this pickup right here. I believe this is first hook onto the obsession. Let me double check here. We get this hook right here. Yeah, it's first hook on the Obsession because, again, you can't really afford to be going for full chases. That's too many lost save the best for last stacks. One hit is one thing, especially at 8 going down to 6, but it's one thing to go from 8 down to 4. We get this chase onto the Kate. This is really, really good. Notice how she's walking and running like that. I knew that she had so much distance. If I committed from the right, I wasn't going to get her off one pink. So I knew we needed to put 2 pinks. We hide our red stain and we rotate. That's going to stop her from getting to window. She has to medium vault and we catch her on medium. Getting that injury is fantastic. Now, I'm actually surprised we didn't see a dead hard here. But this is really, really important. So a lot of people are wondering, why didn't she drop this pallet? She didn't drop this pallet because I said I expected her to drop this pallet. I expected her to drop this pallet to deny me presence. But the advantage to her dropping pallet is she gets stuck in animation, and I purposefully play around that. I'm expecting her, due to a lack of experience, to make the wrong decision. Except what happens is she actually knows better. She makes the right decision because she knows that I'm expecting her to drop the pallet. She knows that I'm playing around an animation lock. So she baits the drop. She encourages me to waste time rotating around, hoping that she can make it back to the pallet before I'm able to catch up to her. But again, we have the invigoration yellow bottle. We have the slowdown from our pinks. She's still not able to make it. We fake it. We go around. Again, we catch her. She's not even fully around the front of the truck. So that's another hook onto the Kate. At this point, there are only 2 survivors that are not going to be on a hook. We have 1 kill. And that means they either need to be healing or getting that generator done. Not really a whole lot they can do, but if they want to do this generator, well, I mean, you look at how there's nowhere safe to go. You know, that's basically just resigning to a death. The generator did get close, admittedly. That's why I decided to go kick it first. I figured they're not going to be healing, right? They're not going to actually become healthy. So kicking this generator to bait them back to a dangerous location while I have a survivor on the hook, knowing that only an injured survivor can unhook. And if I react fast enough, I can down the unhooker before they also make it anywhere. That's what I was really, really hoping for, because then we would just be trading. They wouldn't be getting any relevant progress on the only generator that they have worked on and repaired, and that would win us the game. So instead, I let them come back over. They apply reassurance. We're not really playing around fully camping her. We're more playing around the 2 injured survivors that are vulnerable to me. And Sable she makes a misread in what it is that I'm doing or what part of the tile that I'm at. She ends up accidentally running out into the open. She just doesn't have anywhere to go. That's kind of why you see her. She's initially thinking about going to the pallet, then she remembers I kicked the pallet. That's just kind of how it is at this point. We've gone through all the resources. Now, the reason why I didn't hook the Sable is if I hook the Sable, Adam unhooks. If I leave Sable slugged, Adam has to make his way around me to either pick up the Sable or to get the unhook, and that's highly impractical. He doesn't know if I have coup de grace stacks. He knows that I'm using my yellows and my pinks. One mistake in judgment, 4 kills. If he plays safe, worst case scenario, I hook Sable, he gets hatch, 3 kills. And in a competitive outcome, that is your best decision. That is the less points for the enemy team. So that's kind of what you're going to see happen. And also, the inverse of that is going to be my own decisions. So you see me looking here. I'm looking to deny and picking up the Slug, but simultaneously, I don't want him to consider taking this window to get the Kate. We push him away from the Slugged Sable. We push him away from the Kate on the hook. And this is all tile slicing. This is all me slicing this Killer Shack. I purposefully break away because I do not expect me to catch him before he makes it. If I were to go through here, think about, this is really, really important. I could have lost the game off of this. I want to really, really put emphasis on this. This could have literally lost me the game. Some people are probably wondering, why didn't you chase Adam? First things first, we don't have any coup stacks. When I put this yellow right here, and I'm getting ready to come in, put this pink right here. This is a perfect through the middle, by the way. This is a perfect, without stopping momentum, yellow and pink combo. He reacts perfectly, and I will not catch this without coup. If I commit to this chase, and he drops that pallet, and I'm on that inside, I'm not going to be able to kick the pallet, vault the window, get around, prevent him from unhooking Kate, preventing him from pick up Sable. They will go to the opposite ends of the map to consider healing. I will have to consider taking the risk on going for the healing to interrupt the reset. And as I'm doing that, the last survivor is going to be doing that generator. So it literally, I could have lost this game if I went through the inside of Shack for this hit and it was made a mislapse of judgment. That's why I didn't do it. That's why I came back, because this is the safer call. We are slicing the tile backward. We eat the pallet stun, but that's okay. He's not going to be able to get anywhere with the pink behind him. Worst case scenario, he abandons the tile. Notice I haven't kicked the pallet yet. The reason I haven't kicked this pallet yet is because I know he's still here. The longer I keep this pallet up, I keep him still here. I am purposefully looking to kick this pallet when he least expects it. That gives him the least possible opportunity to break away from Killer Shack and get around me to get Decatur to get to the Sable. So we get this yellow setup here. We do another pink. Notice I don't kick it there. It's the pink setup. I do one more fake because now it's less expected. He does get out the back. He's not going right. And he makes a very close attempt. Y'all are going to see it. He tries to come back around. And it's right up here. You're going to see it. He's going to come right around, and he would have ended up running into me, but he decides to also play it safe. He doesn't want to give me that 4K, and he just kind of realizes that it's too risky. Remember that he still has the opportunity for Hatch, and the game's pretty much over at this point. There's not really anything that they can do with her dying, since that means that the Sable is uncontestable. She's even sitting there right there, nothing to do about it. Last minute struggles take place, and that just about wraps up everything with respect to the match as a whole. You know, the match is over. They go for Hatch. I can't contest Hatch. And that's pretty much the game. You know, again, I want to draw attention to the fact that we killed Nia specifically first. I think the team was playing very aggressively, and they were spreading health states without really worrying about healing because they wanted to play for time efficiency. They were not banking on me killing Nia first in the endgame, and they were probably expecting that if there was anyone else on the hook, they could use her to soft reset all of that pressure, go in for that unhook save with the remaining time, and possibly finish the generator in the process. So that would have been undisputable pressure. We would not have been able to come back for that. Keep in mind they had 2 survivors with adrenaline, so that just about, I think, sums everything up. It was a very close match. So I hope y'all really enjoyed this video. If you're interested in learning how to play Clown better, I have a very extensive Clown guide that'll hopefully prepare you in the future for these types of teams. If you're interested in seeing matches like these live, I stream on Twitch during the weekdays, so I'll have a link to my stream in the description as well. But on that, I hope y'all enjoyed this highlight, and I'll see y'all next time. Later, gang.